Damn you, switch pod. The boys are back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Bucks are back. Huh?
The
The
Bucks are
Bucks are
back
back.
indeed. Indeed.
Oh, quarters. It's a good time, good weekend coming up. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah. Besides that, are you well? How are you, Chris?
Quarters. No, no, no. We're good here. There's a lot of things going on. But we'll choose what to focus on because hey, it's too much. There's too much going on in the world, man. But yeah, we're good. Quarters, how you doing, man?
Good myself. Good myself. The Dan
I'm
Carters of
glad you are
podcasting.
still there.
The Dan Carters of podcasting. We're here to give you our opinions, our flagrant takes, and yeah, it's a big week for SA rugby in general. Like you
Mm,
say, Boks are back, but besides the Boks being
yeah,
back, the Bulls in action. Bulls are
yeah,
also back, and they're
yeah.
back in
Let's
Dublin
start
against
there.
Leinster. A repeat final. But I think let's actually go to the Bok team first because I think that was the
Oh
more
yeah.
pressing news that
Okay.
we can
Okay.
kind of dissect. It's Boks versus the Barbarians, not a test. They won't get caps for this. And
Mm,
then it's also SAA versus the Sables. Um, I think with that in mind, and you've got players that are obviously unavailable that are playing in the final. With that in mind,
mm.
I think we've all been relatively chill in terms of being a Springbok fan base who normally selections. It doesn't matter who you
Yeah.
select. There's always going to be someone that says, "Well, this guy shouldn't be there." And I think we've been relatively calm for the fact that there's a lot of players here who technically shouldn't really even be here. There's a lot of players here who it's you're essentially mixing baby box with. There's some guys here that don't even have a senior cap. So when I say they're
Mm.
not supposed to be there, it's like there's other players that have been pushing for years to even get a fake test. There's guys that have been pushing for years. There's guys in their 30s that would have loved this opportunity, and then you get guys
Yeah.
starting that don't even have a senior cap.
But cause the future is now. You know,
Yes.
the future is now. And I mean, it was youth day yesterday. The coach doing youth things. Putting out
Yeah.
youthful team sheets. Both coaches on. So yeah, I agree with you. In that sense that look, there's people are chilled. Everybody's excited to see because I think again, it's the position that we find ourselves in as South African fans, SA rugby, showing what good administration, yes, they may have the issues, but good administration, proper pathways, proper,
Yeah.
you know, development
And I
pathways
think that's
put in
why,
place.
sorry, I think that's why we chilled because this is not the first time we've seen it. So I think
Mm,
that's kind of like eased us in to now this being a reality for us where
yeah,
if you had seen this a few years ago,
yeah, eh? Hey, we
drinks would
would
be
be
flying off
debating
tables.
for, hey, we'd be debating for days, eh?
Yeah, but I mean, I think because there's been proof of concept, because they've
Yeah,
shown this thing, it's worked sometimes. Sometimes it hasn't worked, where they've brought guys in from Varsity Cup or so on and so forth. But I guess we just take it for what it is at this point.
yeah, and also the guys that have been selected, they've shown that they are capable. Now it's a matter of can you do it now in this environment?
Yeah,
So it's an opportunity. It's jobs. To be seen. You may not get the job now, but it goes a long way to putting your name in the head to say, hey, look, I can hang, and this is part of this is it's
yeah.
the regiment, like we've been saying. This is a regiment that this guy has built, man.
It's the
Where
the Bok internship.
so the guys they coming in, they understanding, this is what's demanded of them, this is what's
Yeah,
needed, and it's it's a luxury, to be in this position. When in SA rugby history, if you really, really think about it, where you can be so comfortable, with a group of senior players and comfortable with the group of guys that are, are coming through
Yeah.
that are, well capped, and then guys that are still early in their caps, and guys that have got zero caps. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Look, for me, it's just we just want to see. There's something about that green
Yeah.
jersey. There's something about that
Yeah.
green jersey on a Saturday that we all want to see. And some of these youngsters, it's almost like, it's like dream teams being selected here, where, you're seeing your favorite up and coming player playing with, guys that are experienced, So I think it's a good mix across the board, because there's definitely intention and
Yeah.
and and definitely they deliberate about what they want to do, what they want to achieve, not only now, but looking at a bigger picture.
Yeah, I think let's just run through the team. We've got Ox there, one that obviously would be there under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
Then we start to now get into things with Hugo Fenter, who's possibly,
Get
he's
into
kind of down the
things.
line.
Yeah.
Then we've got Carlu Sadi, Riley Norton, who even for myself also, I mean, I haven't seen Baby Box. They play when we're at work, so it's hard to sometimes catch his games. So, he's one for the
He's a
future.
player. He's a player
And he
for sure.
comes with a lot of accolades. Um,
Yeah.
we've got Franco Mostert, we've got Sia, Captain, Peter Steph, Visa, loose trio, I'd say 5 till 8 normal guys, even 9. We've got Williams there, who's his Japanese team was just revealed. Then the biggest talking point from all of
Yeah.
the selections was Quan Horn at
Yeah.
10, someone that
Yeah.
plays fullback that we haven't seen play
Yeah.
at 10, and that I've said it on this podcast before, a 10 moving to fly half is kind of like the easiest position change.
What, the 10 moving to fullback?
Yes. So I suppose this moving forward, and he does come into the line a lot for the Lions. And he
Yeah,
does things like he takes the kickoffs for the Lions, for example.
as well. As
Yeah,
well.
so I mean, it's you can see
I,
how it would work. It came out of left
mm,
field, but at the same time, like I'm not mad at it.
I'm also not mad at it. And I think, a key takeaway, I think even the doctor, you know, the OG doctor even said that, he takes it to the line. I think for me, that's the key ingredient about how the box want to play, is having a 10 that is willing to take it to the line. And I think a big part of that is also, I would say, around the skill set that Sasha brings, to that. And then you
Yeah.
look at even a guy like Moyo getting in there as well. I think they see a bit of that in him, that he can also take it. No, no,
Yeah.
no, I will,
No, no,
I
I was,
will
I was
hide.
just gonna say he was unlucky to miss out for selection for the Sables. He could have played.
No, he knows where he's been developed. He knows where he's been developed. But yeah, so I mean, like, I think looking at that, and I mean, even Libo can also take it to the line.
Yeah,
So so and with a back with an attack coach like Tony Brown, I think that's definitely a big part of it. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see, how comfortable he will be being now. You first receiver, you got to set this thing off. You have to make first decision. It's a first decision, and that first decision decides what happens after.
yeah,
So I think that's really going to be. And look, there's no better game than the Barbarians. To see what a guy can do.
And in
So
fairness, yeah, in fairness, Quan Horn, he's been unlucky at the fact that Fassi's emerged, Damian Willemse has
yeah,
emerged. At the
yeah,
same time that he's playing rugby, it's basically blocked him out of a side that other years he could have made, other international teams he could have made. So, I mean, good for him that if you can't go in through the front, then he found a window where he
yeah,
could break in. So, I
and
mean,
and and sorry, Quotas, I think as well. Looking at it and maybe a different perspective is, they see a value in him as a player, in the sense that, they're even saying, look, try even being fly off, because versatility is a big thing in this group.
yeah,
And so far, you know, okay, you can say, yeah, he can double up as a winger because he plays in the back three, but we've got more than enough of those,
Yeah,
you know. And then, like you mentioned, the guys that are at fullback. So the opportunities around, a key position to say, 10, because you can still make it in as a as a utility player, to cement yourself on a longevity basis, in terms of value to the team. Maybe that's also how they're seeing it in that sense, because they value his attributes so much, So, yeah, it's something to see because we haven't seen that at the Lions where they said no start. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it is sort of as much as, yeah, you can see him coming into first receiver and whatnot. The fact of the matter is that it is sort of left field, but let's see how it goes. Not against it.
yeah. Moving on, we've got Edville there. Andre Estes in 12, Jesse Creel 13. Colby, who's back at the Stormers now, he said one of the motivating things was that his son didn't recognize him. That's why he's coming home.
Hey, hey, hey,
But then we've got
hey, hey.
Fussy at 15. Yeah, then the bench we've got JJ Kotza, Stormers stacked at hooker there. We've got Nkunu,
Yeah.
who he's been playing. Zachary Porthen, Ben Jason Dixon, Paul de Villiers, Evan Ruiz, the whole Stormers is on the bench. And then you've got Faf de Klerk coming back. He's
Maybe
back in the
that's why
mix.
everyone is chill. But anyway,
Yeah, maybe that's why everyone doesn't have a problem. Yeah. Mark die Stormers humble poker. Yeah, then you got Vusi Boyo closing out the bench. Yeah, I don't know. Big big rise from him, coming,
yeah,
Dasiaya playing 10, then he came in next thing you're on the bench for the box. I know Barbarians,
for the
but you still, so I
yeah,
mean, big
yeah.
transition for him. I'm not as invested as you are, but we'll see the
No, me,
Musiboya
I am.
stocks how they go.
I am. I bought stocks early. My investment will pay off. It will pay off. I believe in the boy. I think, yeah, he's got something for sure,
Yeah.
something to offer the box. You know, um, yeah, and we'll see more. Confidence as well is a big
Yeah.
thing. That's one of the things. And overall, looking at this team, guys have got it's opportunities for some of the guys that are on the periphery, where they can show in different metrics, in intensity, in accuracy, in clean outs and things like that,
Yeah.
in work rate, in work rate, and those sort of the unseen work. That's where guys are going to be. I think that's where the real metrics are going to come into play.
Yeah.
For this type of a game, as much as it's a barbarian game, I think
Yeah,
there's going to be a whole lot of that.
it's yeah, for like a guy like Paul de Villiers who can come in there and show, his worth, something like that. It's more a
Mm.
platform for players like that. I think it's also for me personally, I like seeing Faf de Klerk back.
Yeah,
Similarly, we're seeing Lucanio Arm back.
yeah.
If we go to the SAA team, we've got
Oof.
Lucanio
Hey,
Arm.
this
It's
one,
it's yeah,
this
this one
team.
is really a
Hey,
mixed bag. This one is
hey, but
really.
hey, but
This
when you
is
look
this
at
is a
this,
real Barbarians team actually. This is a Barbarians team actually. You've got Bowen Fenter. I mean, f- he could start in the other game. You've got Nembelele, Fushia, good form at the moment. Chituka captains, Ruben van Heerden, other Chituka there, Manny Chituka. We've got Klekani and we've
mm,
got Pepsi.
mm,
That loose trio, Manny Chituka, Klekani, and Pepsi. That's a loose
mm,
trio.
mm.
Then we've got Hashim Pede, Yakin
Oof,
Ahmed, Sikotelo
alala.
Siaya on the wing.
Hey,
I saw, but people are complaining, why is he on the wing? Just let the guy play. It's
let
okay.
him,
It's
yeah,
okay.
man. Let him
It's
play, man.
then you've got Marcus Miller,
Daluk,
who's I think he's
ah,
18 now, and then you've got Yaku Williams and Kilomi at the back. On the bench, Liam van Wyk, Oliver Reed. If I saw them in the street, I wouldn't even know who they are.
dude,
Henry Jacobs,
baby,
Audrey
the
Smith.
baby.
Audrey Smith, to me he's a mini Etzebeth at times, so I like the selection. Horsepower, Mahashe,
Yeah,
Niku Stain,
hey,
Imad Khan, and Lorenzo Julius. You got two scrum halves there, but I mean both. I think Nico Sten's played 10 for the Lions this season
Yeah.
as well. Exciting team.
Yeah,
Exciting
this
team.
one. This one. Man, people are gonna catch they're gonna catch the hands that the citizens really wanted to live.
No, man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, goodness. No, but it's just there.
You're saying this is the Abahambe 15. Hey.
Look, I digress. But flip, what an exciting team, man. The youngsters that are getting
Yeah,
the opportunity, I think, just to be in that setup. And then you get guys that, you know, that that are kept. It's
mm,
opportunity for them. Guys, Pepsi and them, anything for share, and it's a good I think it's a good mix, good balance. Vincent Chituka as well. Big raps on him. Being even given the captaincy as much as
yeah,
it's a SAA team, but it shows that they see the quality in him. Chituka as well. You know, but for me, it's this backline, man. If the forwards can
yeah,
give them what they need, the forwards can give them what they need. Hey, this back line can really be a terror on the day, and it's going to
yeah,
be. I think at the end of the day, it's all going to be about execution. Based on the structure that the Boks want to play. Within that structure, but also having
yeah,
having a go, and then you've got the guys that are on the bench. Look, I'm sorry, but you know, results aside, but just from talent wise, which other nation can put out two teams like this and still
yeah,
have guys that are unavailable for some or other reason that
yeah,
that are there. It's this is what we've always wanted. This is that dynasty quarters. We've been preaching about this thing now. The stocks are coming in, the regiment, is being built. The youngsters are coming in, they're getting to understand what it is and what they need to
yeah.
do to maintain. So hey, it's gonna be. I think it's a festival of rugby. Feed
Yeah,
me
and
till I want no more.
I agree with you. And also, for me, the biggest thing in terms of the player profiles, if you look at the player profiles in some of these guys, it's not the traditional, it's not the Heineken Meyer selections. And that's what I
Mm,
like, where it's
mm,
guys that
yeah,
I mean, we've seen there's always a thing of Colby's too small, Colby's too small. Then Colby comes and plays, and then he's
yeah,
a mainstay in the box, and then
yeah,
he disproves that thing. So I feel like there's been a continuation of that where you're seeing guys come through that don't necessarily fit the profile of before. No, you must be a line out jumper. You must be like this. You must be like this. Where it's like they're finding workarounds and they're finding guys that are talents, but they might not be. You know, we
yeah.
can plug you in. It doesn't matter. We'll find a place for you. So I think
Mm,
that's the thing for me that I like about the type of players that are coming through. If you look at the back line, I mean, also guys that can play multiple positions. Lucanio Am playing 12. Tony Brown is, he said when he came in, he wanted to see Am at 12
yeah,
rather than 13. So, I mean, it's going to be good to see him there. We're going to see what he can do with Marcus Miller. I'm excited for this team. It's, good,
yeah.
good festival of rugby, like you say. Should be
Yeah,
exciting.
that's what I'm foreseeing here. I mean, you've seen that Yakin Ahmed. Maybe I know maybe you haven't seen much of under 20s. Hey man, no,
No, I've seen him a bit. Yeah,
he play a Lentona there and he can play. Then you've got Siaya there. You Pete, he's even got a bit of that experience. Then you've got guys in the pack. Pepsi at 8. I think that's 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 a good selection with him there at 8. Klegani, who's been there before, he knows okay where he wants to go. The Chutukas, Ruben van Heerden as well. It's man. Like I said, it's opportunities, man. Jobs for people to put their names, in their head because World Cup is a long way away. That's the first thing, because there's still the Nation Series and it's the All Blacks. And yeah, what I like as well, what it says to the youngsters, it's within reach.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's for me, is that it's within reach, and you can see the net is broad, man.
Yeah, it is. The only thing I'll complain about is that I rate Manu Chituka and Mahashe over Paul de Villiers there. I would have liked to see
Oh, on the other
Mahashe
side, man.
on the other side, and I would have liked
Yeah,
to
yeah,
see him
yeah.
on the other side.
But you
But
but you never know. You never know. Look, well, what we know from this coaching group is they can bring a few surprises, and
yeah,
for everybody, it's within reach. If you can deliver on the deliverables that they need, it's within reach, and that's what it's speaking.
yeah, yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah.
Barbarians team, just look over names that stand out. Piranara, Dwayne van der
Yeah.
Merwe, uh,
Geland.
yeah, Galant, Ollie Cable's in there, but really, they're not coming to see them. They're coming to see the real
Yeah.
guys. Moving on, we've got a final in Leinster. I mean, in Dublin,
Mm-hmm.
we've got Leinster versus the Bulls. Bulls put their team out. Looking through the team, Stinnerkamp, Krobler, Klopper. Klopper retains his position with Wilco Low, obviously being the
Yeah.
main guy, but Klopper's his form is so good
Reward.
that they're like, we can't drop this guy. And
Yeah.
that guy he's been playing. Got for Mark, Nokia, Kutsia, Ulrich Low, Hanokom,
Hey.
Papia, Pollard, Stravino, Jacobs. Foster, Moody at 13. Me, I love Moody at 13. Aronson at 14. Villy at 15. Strong team.
Yeah.
On the bench, Van Staden 16. We've got Vessels, we've got Volko Low, Visser, Rudolph, Zach Berger, Stedman Kans, Nazam Kar. This team is loaded.
It
This is
is.
a team that is loaded, and they've got, even when you look at that bench, those are players that can come
Yeah.
on. Those are guys that the first half of those forwards, they can come on and do some real damage. When you see a team like this, it gives you hope because I mean, playing Leinster at home,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah. It's
easy.
no easy feat. It's no easy feat.
It's no easy feat. Uh, for me, several points. I mean, they spoke about building off of what the Stormers did, and the Stormers kind of, because the Stormers were in reach for, I think, until the
Yeah.
last 10, 15 minutes.
They were in their own way
Yes.
again because they
It's
couldn't.
just, but that's besides the
Yeah.
point. But they're saying that okay, they laid the blueprint, so what can we take from them? It
Yeah.
was a lot of physicality. In the
Mm.
end, they did tire Leinster out, and it became a physical battle. For me, something else that I saw this week is that they need to avoid Leinster having a fast start. I saw some stat
Yes.
that within the first 20,
Yeah.
like Leinster, typically they get this amount of points.
I think
And
it's
when they
like 15 or
lose,
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
they lose, it's they keep it a lot smaller. So it's that
Yeah.
age old, keep it tight the first 20. Every single coach,
Yeah.
every before you play, every single coach keep it tight the first 20. But now they really mean it now.
Yeah.
It has to
Yeah.
be like that. And the other thing for me is that the Bulls really need to find set piece at every single chance. That means kicking
Yeah.
for the corners. That means if it's a scrum, if it's my scrum or your scrum, that means they need to lean on that because it brings them such reward.
Yeah. This is going to be one of those games where you're almost going to need the sort of a big part of the Bulls of old, in how, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember. Okay, maybe we do remember, but nobody really is going to remember how you got into the final, for
Yeah,
example, that, by hook or by crook, they did it, what a comeback. Now you're in the final. Again, nobody's really going to remember how you did it, when you win it. But for them, going into this game, defense, they need to sharpen up definitely on their defense, of which, yeah, you can say they can definitely do better. And we saw that
Yeah.
in the semi that they can fix the errors on the go, but playing it tight, the percentage rugby, suffocating Leinster, and like you said, the physicality. That's going to be the big part of the physicality, and stopping those mustn't allow them to get the waves of momentum.
Yeah.
Play on the ground for me. That's going to be critical. Especially when Leinster has the ball. If the Bulls can slow that down, it increases their chances significantly for me. But
Yeah.
I did say I'm all in on the Bulls. I still have all my belongings, so I'm still all in. And yeah, they can do it.
Yeah, it's for me, it's you talk about defense, line speed. They're gonna have to get off the line fast because you don't
Yeah,
want Pendergrass like with time to
Teddy playing
now.
those jams. Nah,
Yeah,
nah.
you don't want him having that time to pick out a pass. They're gonna need that line speed. Like I said, the scrums. I think Porter is out, which can also be a bad thing because he was also getting tuned up against
Yeah,
the Stormers. So I mean, it's a good or a bad thing how you see that he's out there. But the set piece really scrum time, Pollard tactical kicking. He's gonna have to kick for those corners. You saw how much he missed in the semi-final. Even before we even talk about that,
yeah,
he's gonna have to put in another performance kicking.
yeah, yeah. And that's why the Bulls, the Bulls of old, the Victor Matfield Bulls team, where mistakes small, but when you're doing something and you're going for the
Yeah,
jugular, you do it right, you execute, because that's what it's going to come down to. If you looking at the semi-finals, a big part of what killed the Stormers is they couldn't execute whenever they got their opportunities. They couldn't execute, and with the Bulls, that's going to be key for them. Especially it's your away, and it's the last chance. There's no excuse really. I think, yeah, man. And if anyone knows how to do it, maybe that side, he can maybe bring the team to get there. Marcel Coetzee he's going to have to play a big part in this, having
yeah,
been somebody that's spent time that side and, having success with Ulster, knowing, you know, he's going to have to bring that to the fore, but total team effort. But I think heavily reliant on making sure that they minimize defensive errors. I think that's really where the game is for the Bulls. The ground, the breakdown, especially defensive breakdown, and
yeah.
um and the errors on defense. If they can reduce that, you know,
Yeah, and causing disruptions as well. That's what Hanekom did well in the last game, where they,
yeah,
breaking up play, causing disruptions. I've always said about this team for the past 2, 3 seasons that they go as far as Hanekom and Moody take them. In this season, I feel like the rest of the team has elevated to where it's no longer like that, but they still play a big part in game
but
breaking,
yeah,
where
big,
they provide moments that can take
yeah,
this team over the edge. Besides that, when I look at that bench, I mean, you look at the last game and they panned to the bench, and the guys, they were even having a bit of a laugh. They didn't look too concerned. They clawed their way back, and then those guys that were on the bench having a laugh, when they got stuck in, it
yeah,
really turned things. So I'm expecting more of the same in terms of when you're gonna get your vessels on, your Van Staden on, your Volcolo.
yeah.
By the time Rudolph gets there, it's a party. You know,
You see,
so even Hans, we saw the big play that he made
hey.
in the
Yeah,
end
and it
there.
wasn't just
So
that one big play though with
yeah,
Hans. There was a time I think Moody was off HIA or something or blood, but he came on and the defensive shape, especially out wide, did look a bit better, you know. And look, I'm with you at that. Moody at 13 for sure, But one thing for sure is that he does have a lot of, and that's the good thing. he's got a lot more to learn and grow, in that position, especially from a
Yeah.
defensive point of view,
Especially,
where
yeah, they did catch him, yeah.
sometimes he just gets caught biting,
Yeah.
whereas he can just stick out, control the line a bit better, and he can get because I think he's one for a big hit, So I think
Yeah.
if he's patient enough and he just doesn't bite and he holds, he'll get more of his big hits, with that. I think more of him, it's just patience on defense, you know,
Yeah.
and just looking up. He'll come right. But that's one of the things that with Hans that I saw immediately in that semi, and then he made
Yeah, I
that big play,
agree. I
So
agree 100%. Moody is like, it's almost like a bit childish, but like not in an insulting way, but like it's like he just wants to play, and
yeah,
like yeah, that thing of like you're not patient, like you can't
yeah,
just, and like you say,
yeah,
like he bites at, he bites at, you want to have a go, but like you need to pick your,
yeah,
you need to
yeah,
pick your times, and these guys on the other end are also, I mean, you're playing two pelotus and things where these guys will cut you up, then
yeah, hey,
so
yeah,
yeah, I agree. In defense, he's not as patient as he
yes,
should be. But I think it's also that thing of you want the ball to do
yeah,
your thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I wasn't, maybe not childish, but childlike in the sense that it's like you just like I want to play.
Yeah, I was like, no, man, I want to play. Give me the ball. Let me smash this
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
And look, and that's my only sort of, I won't even say criticism. It's my only area where I can say he can definitely improve, where he will need to be,
yeah.
sharp defensively, not to get caught biting because you see the width that Leinster likes to play with, and how they like to trick teams.
Mm.
Then they hit you with that, Teddy starts playing his jams there, then it's a problem. So yeah,
And for me, I take that kind of player. I'll take that kind of player any day of the week because of
anything.
what he
Yeah,
does on
yeah,
the
yeah.
other end of what he does on the other end of the
Yeah.
field.
On the other side of the
So
ball,
you know,
because defensively, he's only going to get better. He's only going
yeah,
to get better. That's why I say it's room for growth.
yeah.
He's still young. Let the boy play.
Yeah, let that boy play. I love watching that guy at 13. Any
Yeah,
closing remarks? Closing remarks for you?
Quarters. Look, Bulls do or die, no excuse. Yeah, I've put everything on the Bulls, man. I've
Yeah,
put
that,
everything on the
that,
Bulls, and yeah, for South Africa, that's the pressure on the Bulls. It's for South
yeah,
Africa.
yeah. I
Yeah,
agree.
but
I'm backing the Bulls. I'll take the shirt off my back. I'm putting it all. I'm putting it all on the Bulls. And we'll see. We'll be back next week to discuss it. We'll be back box as
yeah,
well. Good,
oh, man,
nice weekend of rugby.
what a time to be a Safa. Yeah, what a time. All our teams are active, so yeah, it's good.
That's it from us, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Sir.